Imagine standing at a busy intersection during evening rush hour. You watch cars stream into a brightly lit gas station. Every pump is occupied. Drivers swipe cards, fuel flows at hundreds of gallons a minute, and the digital sign glows with $3.11. You do the mental math. With thousands of cars filling up every day, this place must be printing effortless cash. Here is the secret almost no one at the pump understands. If every driver in that line fills their tank and drives away without walking inside the store, the owner loses money on that entire rush hour. In fact, if a gas station sold only fuel, it would go bankrupt in less than 90 days. The real business of owning a gas station is far stranger, more fragile, and dramatically more calculated than you imagine from the driver's seat. The gasoline flowing through the nozzle is not the profit center. It is an elaborate billboard designed to lure you into buying something else entirely. To understand why, look beneath the surface. Two identical-looking stations on opposite corners can operate under completely different financial realities. An independent owner owns the land, building, underground tanks, and convenience store. They buy unbranded fuel at the lowest wholesale price and keep every dollar of net profit, but shoulder 100% of the risk. Across the street, a franchise operator under Shell, British Petroleum, or Chevron paid an upfront franchise fee between $30,000 and $50,000, plus monthly royalties on every sale. They gain national brand recognition and guaranteed fuel supply, but are locked into rigid corporate rules and wholesale pricing contracts. Other operators do not own the real estate at all. Under a triple net lease, an investor collects rent, while the operator pays all property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and utilities. Which structure an owner is in dictates whether they clear $200,000 a year or struggle to survive. If you decide to buy an existing station, you quickly realize you are acquiring a heavily regulated underground chemical storage facility. Beneath the forecourt sit three massive underground storage tanks holding 10,000 to 20,000 gallons of volatile liquid each. You are buying turbine pumps, containment piping, vapor recovery systems, leak detection sensors, and a heavy-duty canopy. Inside the store, you purchase commercial coolers, food prep equipment, point-of-sale systems, and a stack of government licenses, fuel retailer permits, environmental compliance certifications, lottery agreements, and liquor licenses. Building this from scratch today is remarkably expensive. A prime corner lot costs between $500,000 and $2 million. Constructing the building and canopy adds $1 to $3 million. Installing underground tanks and electronic monitoring runs from $300,000 to $750,000. Interior equipment demands another $250,000 to $1 million. Regulatory permits add up to $400,000 before you pump a single gallon. In total, building a modern station requires $2 million to $5 million. Because banks understand how thin operating margins are, securing commercial loans requires extensive feasibility studies proving local traffic can support the debt service. Now, let us follow a single gallon of fuel to see where every penny goes. Crude oil is pumped from the ground and transported to a refinery, where it is converted into gasoline and diesel. From there, finished fuel flows through pipelines to regional wholesale distribution terminals, known as the rack. Tanker trucks load up to 10,000 gallons per delivery and transport it overnight to retail stations. Every step incurs costs: extraction, refining, pipeline tariffs, and transport labor. When you pay $3.11 at the pump, that money is split among several players long before the owner sees a dime. First, crude oil accounts for 60% of the retail price, meaning $1.86 goes straight to global commodity markets. Second, refining and processing adds about 9% or 28 cents per gallon. Third, government taxes take a massive bite. The federal government charges a flat excise tax of 18.4 cents per gallon. State taxes add significantly more. California adds nearly 90 cents per gallon, Illinois adds over 84 cents, and Texas adds around 40 cents in combined taxes. On average, nationwide, State and federal taxes claim 50 to 60 cents from every gallon sold. Fourth, distribution, pipeline freight, and local trucking consume 11% or 34 cents per gallon. Fifth, credit card processing fees take another silent cut. Roughly 85% of fuel purchases are made with plastic. Payment networks and banks charge fees averaging between 1.5 and 3.5%. At $3.11 per gallon, that equals about 8 cents per gallon paid directly to Visa, MasterCard, or the cardholder's bank. Add all of that up, and what is left? According to data from the Oil Price Information Service, the national average gross fuel margin is approximately 35.7 cents per gallon. Out of those 35 cents, the owner must pay staff wages, electricity, maintenance, pump calibration, and commercial insurance. After paying operational expenses, the station owner is left with an average net profit of only 10 to 15 cents per gallon. If a station sells 100,000 gallons of fuel a month, it generates over $300,000 in top-line revenue. But the owner keeps just $10,000 to $15,000 in net fuel profit. Here is the irony. The credit card company that issued the customer's rewards card often makes more profit per gallon in swipe fees than the station owner earns in net profit from running the entire facility. This hyper-compressed margin explains why station owners are obsessive about fuel pricing. Gasoline is one of the most price-transparent commodities in the world. Drivers see the price from hundreds of feet away. A difference of just 3 to 5 cents per gallon is enough to divert most price-sensitive drivers to a competitor down the road. When one station drops its price, neighboring stations are forced to match it, sparking a localized price war that crushes profit margins for everyone. This dynamic creates an economic pattern known as rockets and feathers. When wholesale oil prices spike, retail pump prices shoot up immediately like a rocket, because an owner cannot absorb sudden losses on razor-thin margins. But when wholesale prices drop, retail prices drift down slowly like a feather. Station owners hold retail prices high as long as possible to recoup profit lost during the previous wholesale surge. This brings us to the fundamental reality of the business. Fuel is not the product. Fuel is the customer acquisition cost. Data from the National Association of Convenience Stores reveals that fuel accounts for 67.3% of total industry revenue, but only 38.6% of total gross profit. The true financial engine is inside the convenience store. In-store sales represent 35% of total revenue, but generate 61.2% of total gross profit. The entire model hinges on a dramatic margin asymmetry. While fuel delivers a slim gross margin of 11%, inside store merchandise delivers margins between 30 and 90%. Consider everyday items. A can of soda costs roughly 40 cents wholesale and sells for $2, generating a 75% gross margin. A bag of chips costing 25 cents sells for $1.50. The undisputed champion of profit margin is freshly brewed coffee. The beans, cup, and lid cost approximately 23 cents. That coffee sells for $3 to $5, yielding a gross profit margin above 90%. Even after accounting for electricity, equipment, and waste, the net margin on hot coffee remains around 40%. Compare that to a standard vehicle fill-up. A driver pumps 12 gallons of gasoline at $3.11, spending $37.32. The station's gross margin is 30 cents per gallon, or $3.60 total. Credit card swipe fees take 82 cents, and operating expenses eat the rest, leaving the owner with a net profit between 40 and 60 cents on the entire fill-up. A single cup of brewed coffee generates more bottom-line net profit than pumping 12 gallons of gasoline into a car. This single mathematical reality transformed the industry. Regional chains like Wawa, Sheetz, and Casey's General Stores realized long ago that they are not gas stations. They are high-margin restaurants that happen to sell fuel outside. Casey's operates one of the largest pizza chains in the United States by store count, baking fresh pizzas daily inside rural stores. Wawa built a massive following around custom hoagies. Prepared food carries gross margins of 50 to 60%, completely changing a store's financial profile. Smart operators expand these high-margin streams further. An automated tunnel car wash delivers gross margins exceeding 50%, creating predictable, recurring cash flow through monthly subscriptions. In-store automated teller machines earn between $1 and $2 in commission per transaction with zero inventory. State lottery terminals generate steady commissions while driving foot traffic. Modern stations are also installing direct current fast chargers for electric vehicles. While government grants cover up to 80% of installation costs, the real prize is dwell time. A gasoline driver leaves after 4 minutes, but an electric vehicle driver plugs in for 20 to 40 minutes, buying coffee, sandwiches, and snacks inside the store. Yet, operating expenses are relentless. Labor is the largest expense. A 24-hour station requires continuous shift coverage, pushing monthly payroll and taxes to around $18,500. Utilities are another massive cost. Walk-in coolers, canopy lighting, and climate control average $23,000 a year in electricity. Equipment maintenance is constant, while drive-off fuel theft, shrinkage, and card skimmers cost the industry hundreds of millions annually. Above all, the most dangerous financial threat is buried beneath the pavement. The Environmental Protection Agency enforces strict regulations on underground fuel storage, requiring double-walled tanks with interstitial sensors and automatic gauging systems. Across the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency has recorded more than 583,000 confirmed releases from underground storage tanks, with over 54,000 contaminated sites still awaiting cleanup today. The average cleanup cost per site is approximately $154,000. But if leaking fuel seeps into the groundwater table, remediation costs can easily climb into millions of dollars. When you buy an existing gas station, you inherit the environmental history of that property. Contamination left behind by a previous owner becomes your financial responsibility once you hold the deed. Comprehensive environmental assessments and pollution liability insurance are non-negotiable. To see how these moving parts fit together, look at the monthly numbers of a typical mid-size suburban branded station. The station pumps 100,000 gallons of fuel per month at $3.11 per gallon, generating $311,000 in gross fuel revenue and $30,000 in gross fuel profit. Inside the store, merchandise generates $150,000 in monthly sales, producing $52,500 in gross profit at a 35% margin. An automated car wash, automated teller machine fees, and lottery commissions add $4,500, bringing total monthly revenue to $461,000 and total gross profit to $87,000. Now subtract monthly operating expenses. Staff wages and payroll taxes, $18,500. Credit card processing fees, $8,619. Utilities, $6,200. Equipment maintenance and repairs, $3,800. Property and pollution insurance, $2,400. Property taxes and licensing fees, $1,800. Inventory spoilage and theft, $1,200. Total operating expenses equal $42,519, leaving an operating profit of $44,481. From this, subtract commercial mortgage debt service of $25,000 and equipment depreciation of $8,500. The owner's final net operating income is $10,981 per month. On nearly $500,000 in monthly revenue, the owner takes home less than $11,000. That is a net profit margin of roughly 2.4%. Less than 3 cents of every dollar coming in flows to the bottom line. And here is the ultimate takeaway. If the convenience store did not exist, the $30,000 in fuel gross profit would not even cover the $42,500 in basic operating expenses. Without the store, the station would lose $12,500 every single month just by pumping fuel. The store is not a side hustle. The store is the entire business. For an independent operator, a well-run station can generate anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 in net income per year. In a strong year with steady wholesale prices, high traffic, zero breakdowns, and strong food sales, an owner can make over $200,000. But in a bad year with price wars, equipment failures, wholesale spikes, or a tank leak, that same station can quickly slip into the red. The operators who thrive are not the ones trying to win on gasoline. They are the ones who recognize that prime corner real estate and cheap fuel are simply tools to bring thousands of people onto their property every day. They invest in fresh food, deploy digital loyalty apps, control operational overhead, and treat their stores like destination retail. The next time you stop for gas, look past the pump. Look at the size of the fresh coffee counter, the quality of the prepared food, the car wash tunnel, and the electric vehicle charging bays. Because what you are standing in is not an energy station. It is a retail business that uses $4 cups of coffee to pay the bills and $3 gallons of gas to fill the parking lot.